I don't know if the music is actually going to be in the recording, but if it is and you can hear it, then it's Rat-a-tat. This particular song is called Desert Eagle. Great band, by the way. By the way, the whole point of this replay is to analyze mechanics, I think. Day 9 recently released a new daily on YouTube. I think it was 257, and it's all about working on mechanics. So I'd recommend it for that reason. In addition to just simply being day 9, and therefore worth watching. I love it when replays take a long time to load. It's so amazing. Alright, here we go. So use is up here. Sorry to look into your camera, that's cool. I think you said you're going against a very hard computer? Probably. Speed this up a bit. You should be building a supply depot right now. Like if you're going to wall in on a map like this, where the ramp is really far away from your main, send out an SFE like just as the 10th, or just as the 9th starts building, I think it was. Because, you know, put down that supply depot like as soon as you have 100 minerals. And that just kind of goes for everything. If you're going to do something, do it like as soon as you can, basically. I actually wasn't paying too close of attention, but that command center should have been building SCVs this whole time. I have noticed before that you seem to like to wait until an SCV or some other unit is just almost built before putting another one in there. That's cool and all, that you're working on not queuing anything, but you're trying too hard. Especially with how many minerals you consistently have in the bank. You shouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, you can keep 2 guys in there at all times, just like as soon as one finishes building, throwing in the second one. I do that, it's all good. Another note is that, oh wait, never mind, you did start getting your orbital. Ha! I guess I wasn't paying very close attention to the command card and you did it when I wasn't paying attention or something. I don't know what's going on with this camera right now. I did notice that you waited a little bit before building this marine. You should have had that building immediately. Getting a bunker this early is, I would say, unnecessary. I was just about to say you should get your gas, but you should also be building another supply depot, and you don't need 2 gas this early, I'm pretty sure. Pretty much the instant this thing finishes, you should already have a mule. And again, don't stop SCV production. Not until you have your base saturated, basically. So, wait, I'm not on your camera. I don't know what you're doing, I don't know where you were looking, but I'm gonna try to find out, and hopefully this thing won't lag on me. That's all I'll actually be able to tell what you're doing. Alright, so you're sitting here, build gas, cool. You jump back over here. Instead of like mousing around like this, just use your hotkeys. Just double click 2 to jump to the barracks like this. Except obviously you won't be clicking with your mouse, you'll just be hitting that button on the keyboard. But because I'm not actually playing, I can't do that. So this is how you should be jumping from place to place. Not going like this. That's a pretty important thing. But I missed what I was gonna look for. So let's rewind again. You're still not building. Actually, I have no idea how long ago in game time it was I said this, but you're not building a supply depot, and you really should. Started at like 15 or 16. So I guess if you start one now, then you wouldn't be too bad, but still. Yeah. Like right there, what you did, you sat there and waited until the SCV was almost built before you queued another one. You don't need to worry about that. If nothing else, it just takes up your time. It makes you stare at the command center to wait until just the right moment, when you could just queue up another one with the resources and go do other stuff. Queuing gets less and less important as you continue into the game. Like those first couple minutes, it can be a big deal, like when you need a supply depot or else you'll lose SCV production for a little while. And in the early stages of the game, mining time is really important. So you don't want to be doing that. I think I just probably confused you a little bit. Point is, try not to queue early game, but after the first few minutes, don't worry about it too much. You should just go ahead and queue stuff, especially when you have extra minerals in the bank. And again, try to never stop SCV production or marine production. And you should also be building a second barracks at about like, I think 19 food maybe, or like 20 or something. I don't know. You should have the second barracks by now. I'm trying not to say that command center was early. You shouldn't be building a command center because, I mean, here's this attack coming in right then. You don't really have stuff to deal with it. Maybe if you brought some SCVs out to repair this, but you didn't, and you're just kind of sitting here watching the battle. You need to try to stop doing that. Don't sit and stare at stuff. Just keep running around and keep doing stuff. You should be producing more Marines right now. And more SCVs. Yeah. And you probably could have killed that roach. Trying to micro away was a bad idea. And you want to try to keep the energy on that orbital low. Got up to 72. You should have had a mule like 25 seconds ago. Whoopsie daisies. Oh hey, you have a natural inside your base. Because this is a 2-player map, but you're doing a 1v1. And so, because of that, you shouldn't have just built a random command center right here. You should have noticed, oh hey, geyser, oh hey, minerals, oh hey, base command center belongs here, not here. You know, because now you just gotta pick it up and float it over here. Also, this should have been morphed into an orbital as soon as it finished building. It's kind of interesting that just as I start pushing the button, it actually morphed. But yeah, and then you should have been building stuff here and should have been mining. You were wondering what happened to your macro. It's because you only have one barracks, dude. And look, you have 2 factories, you're not using either of them. You have this, you're not getting the siege tech upgrade. Alright, now you started a couple tanks, that's cool. But I would say, like, especially with this command center up, you should probably have 2 factories and at least 3 barracks, maybe 4, just kind of around. At least 1 with the tech lab, maybe 1 or 2 with a reactor. If nothing else, when this isn't producing Marines, which, because your macro sucks, is often, go ahead and throw down a reactor. It's 50-50, minerals and gas, takes 50 seconds to build, and basically acts as a second fucking barracks. So a regular barracks costs 150 minerals, no gas, and takes 60 seconds to make. So this is a third of the minerals, or sorry, this is a third of the minerals, 10 seconds less, and sure, 50 gas, but it's another barracks for cheaper than a barracks would normally be. I would probably say get a tech lab first, because with a tech lab, you can get the combat shield, which is really nifty, like really freaking nifty, and stim, which is probably even niftier. It depends on the situation. Stim can just annihilate stuff. It's awesome. And then you should also have a starport somewhere. So, yeah, you have your unit production facilities hotkeyed, which is good, but you just need to work on your APM. I think I already told you before, play against like an easy opponent, one that doesn't threaten you at all, and then just sit here like the whole game and just try to watch your production facilities. Try to do everything else you're doing, but really try to focus on your production facilities and make sure that there's always a dot in these when you click them. Click over here, alright, cool, you're making SCVs. Click here, alright, cool, you're making Marines. Click here, alright, cool, I only have 2 tanks, but I should probably start another round of tanks so that they'll finish when, or so that the new tanks will start finishing when the current ones finish building. You're getting supply capped, just a little note. But yeah, and so then after that one game where you just worked on your macro, just go back through the replay and just sit here. Just watch these factories the whole time. Speed up to like ×8, be like, oh hey, look, here's like 30 seconds where I'm not building anything. Oh look, I'm not building anything out of here either. I should really be making stuff. Alright, well now I started stuff, but there's a huge gap in there. What happens after this is done? Oh wait, I'm not building anything. Alright, there we go. You've already queued stuff up here, that's cool. Especially when you have this many minerals, don't be afraid to queue stuff up. It's all good. You're putting down another factory. You're going really tank heavy. You said in the message when you sent me this replay that you got Marines for air defense. I guess that's cool. I mean, Marines can kill stuff, but they're not anti-air. Not like the way tanks are anti-ground. So if you're getting these, then you can get like Vikings or something to go with them. Or Thors, maybe. Especially against Zerg. Thors are pretty good. They tear mutalisks up like nothing. But if nothing else, I'd say like just mass Marines, maybe some Marauders with medevacs. Get a factory just so you can get a starport, and then put a reactor on that starport, and then you should be able to constantly pump medevacs out of that. And then you should have like 3 barracks at least, and those can just pump Marines. And that's off 1 base, and then off 2 base, get like maybe another starport. Get these kind of buildings for all your upgrades. Idle SCV. I like to keep my supply depots lowered. It's cool that you have an armory. You could go for a second one. But yeah, and then once you get a bunch of medevacs, just click them, and then like hit M, and then click on a Marine, and just have it follow that Marine. And then you can just kind of hotkey all your Marines, and then tell them to run around, and the medevacs will follow and automatically heal. And it's nifty shit. The sensor towers are nifty. I like that you're using them. I don't know how much attention you pay to your minimap, but watching the minimap is a good thing to do. But really, you just need to work on spending these minerals. It's pretty easy to just throw down like 5 barracks and just put a reactor core on all of them, and then just sit there and spam the hotkey and see what you're building, and then just keep building stuff out of those unit production facilities. Alright, so you should already have noticed this red dot coming in. You should be okay. It's probably an overlord. And then you can click over here and say, oh yeah, it's an overseer. Cool. No, with just an overseer, I suppose it doesn't. Whoopsies. If it's just an overseer, I suppose it doesn't really matter. But if that was an attack, if it's just like, if it's actual overlords, then they could be trying to do a drop or something. Look at your production. You're not making anything. You should be fixing. Alright, there's an attack coming in. Ideally, you would have already seen this and you would know about it. You want to go back to your camera view to see what you do. You're just sitting here. You have a shit ton of tanks. 20 tanks. That's... There's no reason to fear air. Or no reason to fear ground, basically. I mean, unless they're like clever bastards, but you're just playing your computer, so it's not a big deal. So, yeah, again, you should just be making like a shit ton more Marines and stuff. If you want, you could put like these tanks over here, and then when they get up your ramp, they'll just immediately die, kind of. Also, throwing up turrets are cool. And again, watchtowers. I've drilled you about this before. Try to keep units on the watchtowers. Having actual vision is really helpful. Whoopsies. Having vision more than just being able to tell that there's a unit there. Actually being able to see the unit is really useful. Your command centers, you have almost 5 mules. Ideally, you'd notice that these SUVs are there, and you'd send them over here. And then, oh right, I didn't even see this command center because I wasn't paying attention. This orbital command, rather. Alright, cool, now you spam mules. Yay. But lift this up and put it over here, and then you can, like, put some turrets along here. And maybe back here, and like throw some tanks up on this high ground, and like right here with some scattered around here, and then just have like a bunch of Marines everywhere, and then that's how you defend your third. Oh, you're not actually building another. Oh wait, never mind, it's just floating over. That's cool. These Marines still don't have any upgrades. That's bad. Marines are actually one of the highest damage dealers in the game, or highest DPS units in the game. If once you get their upgrades and stim changeling. That's fun. I don't know when the last time I saw a computer use changeling was. But you can see right here that you have a bunch of energy on your command settings. On your level commands, you should spend that energy. you should get some more supply depots. With this much energy, you could like just kind of use the call down supplies, or you could saturate this base with motherfucking mules. A base saturated with mules has just insane income. So this is a lot of tanks right here. You just kind of have them in a ball. That's not really what you want to do. Here's your Marines. That's cool. I don't know why you're putting them right here though. The tanks, you got to be careful about how you use them in offense, because like right here, if this were a real game, the enemy could come along like over this route and just totally evade your tanks and walk straight into your base, except for the bunkers, you know. But the point is, tanks are good at saying, I'm right here and this area is mine. Nothing is really getting in this place, but this is the only area that's defended. That's one reason why stim Marines are really good, because you can stim them and run them around and they move really fast. I don't know how much fast they move with stim, but it's pretty damn fast. Here you are, your supply capped. That's cool. You spent some energy on mules and stuff. That's cool. Alright, an army is coming in. You should have stuff on this watchtower so you'd already know what that army composition is. But you didn't do that. Also, you have like a fuck ton of minerals. When you have bases like this and just a shit ton of minerals, just throw down like 10 barracks and maybe a few more factories or something. And then after a big battle like this, alright, look. Oh wait, no. He almost went down that ramp. But it's a computer, so it decided to engage all your tanks. And then decides, oh wait, I'm losing a bunch of shit. I just pull back. Instead of just saying, oh yeah, that's a lot of tanks, I shouldn't engage that. Computers are stupid. But that's beside the point. What was I gonna say? Right. So you throw down like a bunch of barracks and factories and stuff. And then what happens is you can basically play like a Zerg player. You can just throw your armies together, and even if all your shit dies, like 15 barracks with reactors will make so many Marines so freaking fast. And so you can almost instantly just macro up again a whole new army. And it's awesome, because you have this huge bank, this gigantic trust fund that you can use to just make more stuff. So it may as well make it really, really fast. You can also go ahead and expand everywhere. Get enough orbitals so that you don't even need SCVs mining minerals. And then you just mine the gas at all the bases. And then every once in a while just kind of click on this button and just kind of hold shift and E and just kind of spam the mineral patches, and then suddenly saturated base, and then it'll get like 5,000 minerals. And then you go do it at another base later, and then you just keep building up a bunch of minerals, and eventually you'll just be able to make infinite units at once. You really should just have more upgrades. Not just there, but you still don't have any upgrades for these Marines. It's really important. That 10 HP helps a lot. Stim helps a lot, especially with medevacs. You could have gone mass Ravens and Seeker Missiled this entire army. Like when games go for like half an hour, I try to have every upgrade I can. I don't really watch my replays very much, but if I did, I might notice that I probably would have like all those upgrades. And your tank to marine ratio isn't very good either. But, alright. So you just had a big engagement here. You lost a bunch of units. What you can do now is, or what you should be able to do now, is just instantly start building from all of these and almost immediately get back up to max supply. And then you have a big army, and then while they're still trying to make their army, you can like run in and kill them. You still don't have that much vision. Sure, you have sensor towers all over the place, but you can like send a marine to these expansions, and you do have this sensor tower, which is cool. You have this one too, or not sensor tower, it's all Naga tower. And I guess actually with sensor towers all over the fucking map, you'd be able to tell if there's an expansion there. So you'd only need to worry about this one, really, because this is his base and this is his third, so he's gonna have those ones. I don't know what those are. Drones. Oh right, he took this base too. It's barely out of range. But yeah, you're not producing anything right now. That's your problem. Work less on micro and more on macro. It's been said many times by many people, you know, a hell of a lot more about StarCraft than either of us, that if you can macro, it doesn't matter how good the other person's micro is. You can micro a handful of Marines all day, but you're not motherfucking Boxer. Those Marines will eventually die. I mean, say you're the Terran and you have like this army right here. Doesn't matter how well you micro this or what kind of upgrades they have, if the other player takes the entire map and just throws endless waves of Zerglings and shit at you, even if Zerglings would be a bad army against this, they could make Banelings or Mulisks or Hydras or Roaches, Broodlords, whatever the hell they wanted, and just macro will defeat micro every time. So that's what you should be worried about. Macroing, not microing. And your macro just sucks. Pretty consistently, I'm noticing that you just need to build more production facilities. You still only have those 2 barracks and like 3 factories. That's horrible. You can almost support that on 1 base. Instead, I mean, yeah, sure, you're back down to 1 base because you've already mined out 2, but you have a fuck ton of minerals. And that's your problem. Like, it doesn't matter if you only have the income of a single base. You have the minerals to support a lot more than that. And with all your idle SCVs, or extra SCVs or whatever, you should, like I said, have a couple more bases scattered around. And you should be making a lot more stuff than this. See, what happens late game is if you don't build more production facilities, then you can only build a handful of units at a time. Which means that after an engagement, after you inevitably lose your army, you won't be able to rebuild very fast, and then you just don't have anything and you die. I feel kind of like a broken record, just saying the same things over again. Which is why I'm fast forwarding. Plus there's other stuff going on, and I can't like spend all day on this. You have a ridiculous income right now. Haha, drop. And see, you don't have an army. I mean, sure, 13 tanks and like 40 Marines is pretty good, but they don't have many upgrades either, because you forgot all about that. I'm sure the tanks have, like, what, +1 attack? Yeah. Marines... I don't know where the Marines are. Do you have Marines left? Yeah, there's one. No upgrades. Absolutely none. You even got an engineering bay, and you didn't even use it! When you have a bunch of minerals, just click all of these and queue them up, and just let it sit there. And then you can forget about it for 10 minutes and come back to it and say, oh hey, I have a bunch of upgrades. I'll click more and make you more upgrades. And you can do the same thing with this. Just make a full round. Because you really should have had starports and stuff in here too. Starports are good, and you can get Vikings. Mass Ravens are awesome. Yeah. I think that's about all I can say, really. Idle SCV's bad. Yep. More production facilities. That's what I'm going to say you should work on. More production facilities and making sure that you're constantly building out of those production facilities. Yep. I'm about done.